Remember the last time you felt down, worried, or terrified that something wasn't right with you? If so, when was that? Although it may seem like you are not. Many mental health experts believe that a bad mood might be an indication of something more serious. This video depicts 10 warning signs of mental illness. Make sure you take care of yourself in the event that this video is a trigger for you. It's worth it, even if it means skipping this video. Here are 10 signs of mental illness that you should not overlook. Number 1, anxiety or stress that persists for more than 2 weeks is a sign of clinical depression. Sadness is a natural human emotion, and it usually passes with time for the majority of individuals. Feelings of extreme sorrow that last for more than 2 weeks are indicative of depression. It should be handled seriously if you can't snap out of it or your melancholy is heavier than usual. Number 2, the reason for your mood fluctuations is a mystery to you, and you don't know why. Do you experience rapid or sporadic swings in your emotional state? Researches have been done on how frequently the average person's mood changes during the day. When it comes to emotions, people are more likely to feel good ones like happiness or love. Though this may seem unnatural, it is very common for someone's emotions to shift on a regular basis. Bipolar disease can manifest itself in the form of mood swings that cause big shifts in behavior and energy levels. The most alarming warning signs include feeling sad, angry, or euphoric for the most of the day, especially if it has nothing to do with your current circumstances. Number 3, your tension and stress are out of hand. Have you ever been unable to stop yourself from worrying? It may be an indication of an anxiety problem. Other symptoms of anxiety disorders include insomnia, racing thoughts, inexplicable aches and pains, and a tendency to become quickly annoyed. If you've had these symptoms on a daily basis for the past 6 months or more, you should get help from a professional. Number 4, you've begun to isolate yourself from others or to withdraw from social situations. For both your emotional and physical well-being, it is beneficial to stay away from people. However, what if you find reasons to avoid engaging in social activities on a regular basis? Experts in that field argue that avoiding people or situations you used to like might be an indication of mental illness such as sadness, anxiety, or a psychotic disease. Number 5, you may have realized that you are experiencing hallucinations or delusions. Hallucinations and delusions, 2 forms of psychosis, are as a sense of perception or belief that causes a great deal of urgency in the individual who is experiencing them. Despite the overwhelming evidence, the belief or impression is not true. People with a mental or physical ailment will suffer of psychotic episodes at some point in their lifespan, such as schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. When it comes to everyday life, you're finding it more and more difficult to cope. Number 6, in everyday life, you're finding it increasingly difficult to cope. Depression or anxiety may manifest as an inability to function for more than 2 weeks or months. A prolonged inability to operate normally for several weeks is a clue that you're dealing with something more serious than a tough patch. Number 7, your sleep cycle is out of whack. An estimated of less than 19% of the general population has trouble sleeping. Those with mental illnesses are 2 or 3 times more likely than the general population to have sleep problems. This is according to Harvard Medical School research. Number 8, at this point, you've begun misusing drugs or drinking. The mentalhealth.gov website states that 1 in 4 or 25% of those who suffer from a mental disease are affected by it. Anger, anxiety, and manic symptoms may be relieved by the use of alcohol or other medications. There is a belief that persons with mental diseases such as depression and anxiety are more inclined to use drugs and alcohol as means of self-medicating than others. Number 9, you're prone to violent outbreaks of rage. Is there ever a time when your rage is out of control or out of proportion to the situation? No, I don't think I've ever had that level of frustration or rage that I couldn't manage. If this is the case, your anger may be a signal that something is wrong with you emotionally. Anger outbursts can also be a symptom of unresolved trauma, bipolar illness, alcohol misuse. Also obsessive-compulsive disorder, intermittent explosive disorder, or depression, according to the Healthline. Consider your physical and emotional symptoms of anger to get a sense of whether or not it's healthy for you to be angry. Number 10, you've begun contemplating self-injury or taking your own life. According to the Mental Health Foundation, up to 10% of persons under the age of 30 have contemplated self-harm or taking their own life. Self-harm or suicide can be considered for a variety of reasons, including domestic abuse or neglect. Also, a huge loss or trauma, or a calamity over which you have no control or ability to prevent it from occurring. About 90% of persons who have committed suicide had a serious mental disease, such as bipolar disorder or depression, according to Bradvick, 2018. A mental health professional can provide you with the guidance and support you need and deserve if you are contemplating self-harm or suicide. There is no need to feel guilty or ashamed if you can identify with any of the symptoms on this list. However, if you've been suffering any of the symptoms on this list, we encourage you to get professional help. Any material presented here is for educational purposes only. Contact your insurance company, a student counseling center at your local institution, or the crisis line for your county if you believe you need mental health assistance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.